Are you away from your tanks a lot? Maybe you're going on a trip and worrying about feeding your fish. Or maybe you don't even have a tank yet because you're worried about how much you need to travel. What you need is an autofeeder, and in this video I'll show you how to set up the Eheim. Welcome back to SL30 Aquatics. I'm Simon, and today we're looking at the Eheim Autofeeder. This is the autofeeder that I use when I'm out of town. So the first thing out of the box is the food hopper. This can hold about 6 weeks worth of food. And this is the programmable computer part. On the bottom you've got the bracket that attaches it to the tank. I've had this one quite a while, so I don't remember, but I don't think batteries are included. You need 2 AA batteries. And then of course the instructions. So the autofeeder works by tipping the food hopper upside down at the program time every day. Depending on how much you have the food gate open, depends on how much comes out each time, but it just tips the bucket upside down. The amount of food given out in each meal depends on how open this feed gate is. This is where the food comes out. So when you first get the autofeeder, the bracket won't be attached to the rest of the feeder, so you just attach it with the screw. And then the whole unit sits on the side of the tank and is fastened with the clamp underneath. So to install the batteries, you take the top off of the head, and there's no on-off switch, so when the batteries are in, the clock is running. So I always store it without the batteries. And then as soon as you put the batteries in, closed it back up, the clock is on and it's running from midnight. So now we need to set the time. I'll try putting that so that you can actually see it. So here we've got the set button, the plus button and the mode button. Mode, plus, set. The mode button switches between the clock and the programmable feedings, of which there are up to 4. So you can set 4 daily times for a set feed. To set the current time, press set. There you can see that hours are flashing. And we're gonna 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then mode to switch to minutes. You can press and hold for it to go a bit faster. So 10:40. And then set. And then you can see, like a normal clock, the lights blinking in the middle to say that the clock is running. Then to program the first feeding time, press mode. And there you can see a 1 has come up on the screen above 00. So that is, feed 1 is currently set to midnight / not really set. So we want to set, and then same as setting the time. Set to first feed 7 AM. Mode to press the minutes. So 7 AM is good. Then you can see that the number 1 is flashing there. So if you then press plus, you can see an arrow, 1 arrow down. That means like feeding is going to happen at 7 o'clock. And then 2 effectively means double dispense. So that would be the biggest meal that you can dispense in a single programmable time is 2 arrows down. And then set. So that now is set to feed the largest possible portion at 0700. If then you press mode, you get to program 2, programmable time 2, set. So do another meal at I don't know, assuming fish eat like people, let's say lunchtime. Mode, 12 o'clock's good. Mode again. So second meal now is only a little meal. So 1 arrow with the plus button there. Set. Mode 3 o'clock. So set that to, again, let's do meal times like a human. So say 1800. Mode for minutes. Mode for food amount, plus, and then dinner, big meal, plus again to get 2 arrows down. Set. Mode, and then for, say we don't want a 4th meal time, so you just leave that, and if there are no arrows, then it's not programmed. So then you press mode again, you get back to your main time. So this is the time that it thinks it is now, or is now. So then we've got meal 1, big meal programmed, 2, 1 little meal, 3, big meal with the 2 arrows. And as you can see, mealtime 4 has not come up. So then when you connect it up, you then put the feeding barrel on, and you just click this onto there, and it pushes on with a click, soft click, and then just put it on the side of the tank, hook it over the edge, and then use the screw to tighten it up against the side. One thing you do need to remember to do is open the sliding hatch here, because this is how you determine how much food you will give. That clicks. So because in mine I've got micro pellets, very fine food, so I have it on the smallest possible one. You'll notice that when I put mine on my tank, the screw's on the inside. That is a mod that I've made, so usually the bracket would be the other way around and the screw would be on the outside. However, because my tank has a lip, I've decided to put it on the inside, because then the screw tucks underneath the lip and that gives it extra sturdiness. So as you can see now, attached to the side of the tank, I'll put the feeding basket back on. And there we have, so I've attached the feeding basket, open the door, and then obviously the most important thing is putting it somewhere where the food definitely goes in the tank, and you can use this button. So this Eheim sticker here is a button, and that is the test button. So if you press that, As you can see there, put food in the tank, so the whole portion has gone in the tank there. And I'm happy with that. So that's obviously key. We need to make sure that the food that it's dispensing is actually turning into the tank. In terms of battery life, I think the instructions say up to 6 weeks. The hopper holds up to about 6 weeks worth of food, it claims. The longest trip I've been on is 3 weeks, and I've come back, all the fish fine, still plenty of food in the hopper, battery's still good, all still running perfectly. Obviously for an auto feeder you may need to make some modifications to your tank, so I put it here in between the rim and the lid. But if you had a flat lid, you'd have to cut a feeding hole in it maybe for the auto feeder to dispense into. And there we have it, the Eheim Autofeeder, programmed and installed, ready for you to go out of town on a trip or just away for the weekend. Even if you are new to fish and you're worried about forgetting to feed them, an autofeeder is a good way to make sure that the fish are getting fed. Thanks for watching everyone. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on SL30 Aquatics.